Morning glory, evening grace, brother and sister, to everybody back along with us here with a Temperance Awakening. And today we will be looking at our 22nd vaping lecture, day 15 of our quit. And today looking at social triggers, And when people vape in some type of social setting, or like work, on a lunch break or something, they're following what addiction specialists call a social trigger, and these occasions usually include other people who also vape, and the situation itself prompts a desire to puff. If you vape and find yourself around other vapors, you're more likely to feel the urge, especially if those other vapors belong to your social circles. And you have control over your own actions, but you can't control what other people do. You might find yourself unable to avoid a family member who vapes, for example, and so to eliminate these social triggers and reduce situational urges, take the following actions. At work, avoid the smoking or vaping area. Stick to places where you won't face temptation. When you see like other coworkers vaping, head outside, change what you're doing. Get up from your desk and fill your water bottle, do some quick exercises or stretches, or grab a healthy snack or something to drink, a piece of gum, a piece of candy or something. Don't follow them outside and go for a walk around the block. Keep them out of sight to keep them out of mind. Cravings can feel more powerful when your blood sugar levels are running low, so snacks such as fruit, nuts, low sugar yogurt are very helpful. Bring a discreet hobby or fidget device such as a stress ball or a finger spinner to work, or something like a book to read on break. And you need to take breaks to stay focused, but you also need to replace vaping as your go-to break activity. Like we said, when you feel that urge, focus on something quick that you enjoy doing. Like, play like I said, you could read a book, play a short game of solitaire or Sudoku, or knit a few rows of yarn, something of that nature. Sketch something interesting, or draw if you like that. Just, keep your vape hand occupied, or, have a journal, like we mentioned, write in that journal. And then, like at social events, like such as, family, get-togethers, maybe work, parties, what have you. If people are going outside to vape, stay indoors and keep your line of sight focused in the opposite direction. Volunteer to help the host by serving appetizers, making sure guests have something to drink, or help in the kitchen. Again, keep your vaping hand occupied. These activities will keep you busy and help keep your mind off of vaping. Hang out with non-vapers to reinforce your resolve. If you can, bring a guest, ideally somebody from your quit team who doesn't vape. If people are vaping at the event itself, excuse yourself and, take a walk around the block or go outside, get some fresh air or something. And then looking at traveling. You might want to cut loose or try new behaviors or activities when venturing into new places, which is great, but make sure that you don't slip back into bad habits, such as vaping. Prior to your trip, do the visualization exercises, that we mentioned. Focus on remaining vape-free the entire time. Book a non-smoking, non-vaping room. Distract yourself by staying busy as much as possible. Go sightseeing, exercise, participate in group activities. Again, you can't control what other people around you are doing, but you can avoid situations that will trigger you, and you can and should ask friends and family not to vape around you. If they persist, they're not respecting your best interests, so avoid them to the extent that you can until the cravings no longer tempt you. And also, before we look at our exercises, we'll do our teen talk with parents here, and this one's very important. Looking at peer pressure, that really dreaded thing. Teens have a social trigger that most adults don't. They can feel peer pressure on many fronts, but it's largely internal. They see their friends engaging in certain activities, such as vaping, and so, they feel the need to join in. Like most people, who do smoke, like, adults, older people especially, who got into smoking, they got into that because, their friends were doing it when they were a teenager. And, you know, it's important whenever, like, you try to quit smoking, especially like if you're an adult and you've gone through that before, you know, you gravitate toward non-smoking people. Like a 2014 study of 2,000 teenagers conducted by the University of Southern California shed important light on the topic. Researchers wanted to learn what most influenced teenagers to vape. Ultimately, they found that young people were more likely to vape if their friends and family approved of it. So peer pressure turned out to play a very key role in this decision. The study also revealed that teenagers are more accepting of vaping than smoking now. They know that smoking is dangerous because of all of the, you know, advertisements and just how that's been so widely known, you know, made so public by so many organizations now. You know, even at a young age, you know, they recognize, like I mentioned, you know, that stigma around tobacco, like cigarettes, you know, dipping and chewing and so forth, cigars. But teenagers rarely condemn their friends for vaping or admit that it's harmful. If your child has friends who vape, you need to have an honest, non-judgmental conversation with your kid about those friends using, you know, those principles outlined in the, you know, the Dear Parents, Rebel with a Cause. That's on page 37 in the textbook. Remain loving and supportive, and remember that your teen makes lots of smart decisions every day. Resisting the temptation to vape can be one of them, so praise their good judgment and encourage positive, independent thinking and principles. And so now, with our exercises, of course, continue with, the hand-to-mouth exercises, nicotine replacement therapy if you're doing that, as well as the visualization exercises. And now we will go over to our new assignment here for day 15. And that's on page 180 in the textbook, if you have it. And so, social triggers. So, and we'll, of course, call all of this out for those that don't have the textbook, or, even if you do, putting this in a special journal or something, get ready to write. List your top 3 social triggers. So, try to, get at least 3. Most people have at least 3, might even have more than that. That can be people with whom you used to vape, people who still vape around you, or places where you used to vape. Whatever, event or social setting. What happens, or what are you afraid will happen in each case? Do your cravings increase? Do you slip and feel guilty afterward? In each case, what can you do to avoid and prevent these social triggers? So write those down, think about those, and answer, those questions for day 15. And then tomorrow, on day 16, we'll be looking at meditate your quit. We'll be looking actually at meditation and prayer. Of course, meditate and praying about your quit. And so we look forward to that tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Until that ever kind of shadows flee away, I am Dr. Cooper, and I love you, and I appreciate you.